Okay, I've got a couple of weeks worth of items. Last week, obviously, we had the interview with Marquita, which went down really well. But we're back on talking purely about footy this week, and I've got a few things to get through, things that have cropped up. Let's just do as we normally do and start talking through some milestones to start with. 50th game, Luke Druitt in the field. We've got a couple of big ones. 500th game for Chris Rash, so what under Rashy? And an even bigger milestone, a 900th game for Ron Keneally in the goals. So well done to those three guys. I'm also going to mention we've got Adam Forster doing his first men's Division 1 game for over 10 years this week. So Adam is not a natural at his fitness, but is a very, very good umpire. And I guess that's what the three umpire system does allow for those that umpire exceptionally well in Division 2, which he has been. He has been a regular at training and certainly he's as fit as he has been for a while this year. So to Adam, well done, and look, enjoy getting up to Div 1 again after a decade. All right, I'm going to show you a game from a few weeks ago. A very, very interesting finish to a game. Some of you will be aware of it. Kilburn played Kenilworth at Kilburn. And let's pull up the screen here. And just bear with me. I'll pop the sound on. Okay. So the story here, we've got Howard Noble, I think, is on the line. He was umpire with Matty Oates. Kenilworth were down by less than a goal, and they're in the blue. They are attacking, and there's only a few seconds left, so you can see what unfolds. Very, very tight. Matty Oates gets in, bring the player around. And then the siren goes. So essentially, he's got a shot to goal after the siren. Obviously, he can't run around. Triangle. The other thing to point out here, we'll stop it. Other things to point out here. So we've got Matt in the set kick control position doing everything right. Cleared the players out of the protected zone. Has set up the guy on the man of the mark, has told the player with the ball that he can't run around. In the goals, we have a club goal umpire. So we're talking Division 4, I think it is. 4 or 5, I lose track. Anyway, it's a club goal umpire. And in the background, we have a club boundary umpire, but the club goal umpire is from Kilburn. So it's Kenilworth player taking a shot. Just see what unfolds here. Doesn't run around. He kicks it, accelerates, and the club goal umpire comes up with a point. So it was quite an incredible finish with pretty much chaos afterwards. Incredible finish. I'll put the link if you want to have a look at it later on. But it's had me thinking, and I've come to a decision on what we can do to help the situation going forward. And it doesn't have to be just after the siren. The instruction essentially is that the umpire that's paid the mark or free kick is there for the set kick, which is where Matt is. And the other kick in this case, or the other umpire in this case is Howard Noble. At the top of the 50, his role is to watch the goal square and off the ball, just any off the ball infringements. And important that we do that. But I think in cases where, especially where we have club goal umpires, and by the way, no one can categorically say that the club goal umpire was wrong in this situation. The TV doesn't show it. It's just that there was a lot of debate, and it would have been really good to have an umpire in a position where I'm going to tell you guys to go going forward. So the instruction will be when there is a set shot for goal, 25 meters or closer to goal, and it's on a tight angle, I'll leave it to you to judge. And it's up to the umpire number 2 to decide when they're going to go in and help. The other umpire's going to be busy getting the set kick ready, so they don't have to signal anything for the other umpire to come in. But their umpire number 2, they are to do only 3 things. I don't want them coming in and taking over the set kick. I don't want 2 lots of instructions to the players. The umpire in charge of the set kick is to remain in charge of the set kick. But that umpire coming down as the umpire number 2, their first role is to help move the players back 10 meters from the line of kick so they're not in the protected zone. And once that occurred, they then move behind the player with the ball to then be able to have a view of if it goes through for a point or a goal or out in the full. And the third thing for that umpire coming down is to continue to be aware of players away from the set kick in case there are infringements off the ball. So again, that umpire coming down is not to get involved in worrying about the player on the mark or giving instructions other than getting the players back 10 meters to the side. And then their main role is to get behind the player with the kick to basically have a look at shot for goal. And then if there's any dispute, that umpire can run down to the goal umpire. If it's a club goal umpire, and they're certain it's a score which the club goal umpire has given in their minds incorrectly, they just overrule them. If it's a league appointed goal umpire, they have a discussion. The league appointed goal umpire has the final say, but you can be there to assist if they got caught out of position. So we're going to run through this tweak in positioning first thing on Wednesday night. I'm going to get all the field umpires, all the goal umpires to get in on the discussion. So hopefully you can come along on Wednesday night and we can talk through it. But from what I said, is there anyone want to say anything on that matter? I can see Howard's just unmuting himself. Howard, did you want to make a mention of something?
Yeah, I did actually, Colin. Thank you. Yeah, it was a pretty it was a very tense game that Kilburn won, and I certainly do think going behind the player, and it was Goodsey actually that said it to me when we caught up at that Power Cup. If I'd come behind the play, I really could have kept a better watch on where the kicker was going, that he didn't come off the mark, and of course then that would have been the end of the play. But you'll be pleased to know we actually had one on Saturday as well at Pulteney. Third quarter, siren went, set shot kick exactly the same as the Kilburn one, and we did the new process, and yeah, worked pretty well, and the guy kicked it out on the full anyway, so that was fine. But
so you did the new process before I've even implemented, but because of the discussion we had at the pub last.
That was it exactly. Yes, yeah. So the players, it was fun. It was helpful.
I think it will be fine. There's no expectation that other umpire has to come down. It's if they feel like that they can help, and it's not every time. It's when it's close to goal on a tight angle. So I'll really leave it up to you guys as the umpire number 2 to make that decision. And again, the umpire who's down there doing the set kick just does what they always do. But yeah, let's give it a go and see how it works. If you've got any feedback, feel free to.
And I think it's the support of the goal umpire, particularly in 4. That did 4 the Kilburn game, 5's on the weekend, and you're really struggling to probably get someone that's, I say confident's probably not the right word, but confident enough.
Yeah. I've heard good things about that Kilburn goal umpire. I hear he does a good job.
Excellent.
There's nothing in that video suggests that he absolutely got it wrong.
No.
But you're not going to get club goal umpires always getting in the right position. And so if you can help them, support them, and it doesn't have to be after the siren in that situation. It can be at any time of the game. The thing to be aware of, obviously, in those situations, if it's not after the siren, is once it goes through for a point or out in the full, you need to get back and into to the top of the 50 ready for the kick out. So you have to be aware of that. So I'm aware, with some of the fitness levels of the lower grade umpires or aging umpires, it may not always be necessary. So, I don't expect it has to happen. But if you feel like you can get down there and get back in the adequate time and support, you're given license to do so now. All right. Anyone else want to raise anything? Okay, we can talk it more on Wednesday night when we run through it. Okay, just wanted to discuss yellow and red card procedure. I've seen a couple of examples lately where we've got the game started way too quickly. So when you use a yellow or red card, play must be stopped. There's two things that have to happen before you restart play. Want to make sure the player who's being sent off the ground is off the ground, and that hasn't always been the case when games been restarted. And two, importantly, the runner or at least the coach's bench is made aware of what occurred. So we don't escort the player off. Obviously, we don't want a repeat of the Craig Tarotha, Adam Rumbelow incident from a number of years ago, so we don't escort players off anymore. However, we do need to make sure that those on the sideline are aware of what's happened. And so that's where we tell the runner or we tell the coach's bench that if it's a yellow card or a red card, and if the player, how long they're off for, if they can be replaced or not. All that communication needs to happen before you start the play. I would suggest in all those circumstances, you signal time on because there's going to be a delay in play, which gives the timekeepers permission to stop the clock. And this can happen in all games. So whether it's a men's B grade, C grade, or women's game, if the timekeepers know their rules, they can stop the clock. They might not usually do that, but they can stop the clock. You just need to signal it. You need to make sure you note the number of the players sent off to help with the post-game administrative tasks. And then it's important that you work out about the free kick. So we had a yellow card give out in the weekend where there was not a free kick paid, and the instruction is a free kick must be paid if you give a card, unless you're sending two players off from different teams and they're both simultaneously offended. So if they're wrestling each other and you're sending them both off, then you wouldn't pay a free kick to either side. However, we had an example on the weekend where a sling tackle was happened. So a yellow card was being given for that. And the retaliators come in way over the top and retaliated for it, and they were given a yellow card. In that situation, you reverse the free kick that you would have given for the sling tackle and you pay it against the retaliator. So what you say to the retaliator is, you had the free kick. By you coming in retaliating, not only are you going off the yellow card, but I'm reversing the free kick. You need to get the message to the players that retaliating is not on, and you've got control of the game. You know, you're paying a free kick and a yellow card for the initial action anyway. So make sure that you're aware in your mind of what you're going to do in those scenarios. So if it's just a one player getting sent off with a yellow or red card, it's a free kick. If it's a mark or free kick before that, then it's a 25, but it's not an automatic 25. It's just there's some sort of penalty for the card. If there's two players involved from different teams, if it's simultaneous, it'll be a ball up. If it's two players being sent off for actions that follow each other, it's the last one offended you pay the free kick against. So there's a few scenarios there. Just make sure you get a head around it so that that you get it right when it happens. Any questions or comments on any of that?
Colin, I had a thing.
Sure, mate.
Yeah, I paid an FAD on a yellow card because the player was really, really late with the contact.
Yep.
And I paid an FAD.
100%. So that's the free kick. Yep. No, that's right. So that's I guess it's another element to it, but yeah, spot on. But you wouldn't pay a 25 on top of that. It's basically you're paying the FAD. Yeah. Anything else? All right. Melee rule. I want to talk through the melee rule. A reminder about what to do when a melee occurs. So if the play can be restarted, get the play going. And if the players continue to fight, that's where the clubs will be fined. If the play cannot be restarted, which happens usually because there's an injury or it's the end of the quarter, that's where we blow the whistle 3 times. And if the players continue to fight after that, the clubs are to be fined. Now, the one thing I don't know whether I've actually really given you instruction for about what we say with the communication between the whistles, or in the other scenario where you got the game going. The most effective thing that I've found in stopping and fighting is simply to say, if you don't stop, there will be fines, or keep going and you will be fined. So essentially, if you repeat that and loud enough and directly enough, it has a real impact. Like, really emphasize to them, if you don't stop, you're going to get fined. And if you're loud and really assertive in your instructions, that will have the desired effect. If they choose to ignore you and they keep going, that's where the fine does get sent out to the clubs from the league. And the one thing I mentioned in an email a week or two back, which the rules and regs do say, is that the umpire needs to notify the matchday official after the game, and obviously put it in officials HQ so I can deal with it on the Monday morning. Any questions on any of that? All right, and the last one game scenario that I want to talk about did happen on the weekend. It's about abandoning a game. So if a game is delayed due to factors such as bad weather, like lightning, or a serious injury. So in the case of the weekend, there was an ambulance called. The ambulance wouldn't get off the playing surface until they felt it was safe. The rule is the game can restart within 60 minutes. And if it's not possible to get this game started within 60 minutes, the game is then abandoned. Obviously, it's important to be talking to both clubs, and there's some agreement there. But if there's any confusion or anything that needs to be clarified, please call me. And if I'm not able to get hold of because I'm often umpiring, then make sure you call Peter Angel. And if for whatever reason Peter's not available, get someone from the league, from the clubs to call a league representative. Just important that you take the heat off yourself, and if you don't fully know the rule, to get someone to help you out with that. And in the coaching notes, I'll put my phone number and Pete's phone number. Just make sure you put that in your phone so that you always have that handy if you need it. Any questions or comments, any of that? And the last thing I wanted to mention was we're going to have skill drills this Wednesday night for first and second year field umpires. So if that's you, bring along a whistle. All right. Anything else from the weekend that anyone wants to raise? All right. Let's get the coaching session started. Hopefully you've all had a chance to have a look at this. One's on set kick control. All right. All right, Frank, seeing as you didn't get to umpire on the weekend, you can umpire now if you like. You want to unmute yourself?
Thanks, Cole.
That's the calf.
Getting better.
That's what I want to hear. Very good. All right. Tell us what you think of the first one. We've got the 3 examples as usual.
Mm-hmm.
Have you had a chance to have a look?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
As well. Nice kick to the advantage. And Mark taken on the chest there by Min. He wants to go quick. He goes to the top of the square. Who's there? Sandry's there. How about that experience? They know how good he is at that. They just pop it to the top of the square for him. Nice bit of body.
What do you think?
Yeah, probably looking for the 2 actions. I reckon he's probably more so in the side of the body and moves in pretty easily off the ball. I reckon that's a fair mark to be paid. I don't think there's a push in the back, so I'm happy with that.
Yeah. So agreed. Essentially, just holds his position. I don't think there's an action to push the player out first and then go for the ball. I think it's all on the action of just holding the ground and going for the mark. So we all agree that that's a mark.
Yeah.
Thanks, Frank. Paul's iPhone. Who's Paul? Which Paul is that?
Paul Smitherin, probably, Cole.
Is it Paul Smitherin?
Yep.
Have you had a chance to look at the video, mate?
Yeah, I have. This is an interesting one, actually.
The next one. Yeah, tell us what you think. I'll let it roll. What's thoughts?
Yeah, PAC player had a couple of grabs at it. On the second grab, I reckon he took it, and then the Port District player came in that very, like, slightly late and bumped him to ground. I reckon he could pay a 25 there.
Yeah. So it's one of those 50-50 calls.
Yeah,
And it really, at the end of the day, it's your judgment whether you feel he's controlled the mark. If you feel he's controlled the mark and then there's a bump, then you pay 25. If you feel he's still juggling it and the bump has caused him to drop the footy before marking it, you just pay the mark. So I'm really not fussed either way on this one. And look, I know that we want, sure, like the decisions to be black and white, but that's not our game. And so, yeah, the philosophy, I guess, is erring on the side of the ball player. So if you are 50-50, 25 is probably the right decision, but I'm not fussed with it just being a mark either there.
I think Steph's got that right, Cole.
What was that?
I reckon Steph's got that 100% right. I don't reckon that mark's controlled, so I'm happy with what he's paid there. That's good.
Yeah, I'm not fussed either way as well, but I'm not saying Paul's wrong either. I think it's just it's a good example of man, we're not gonna get black and white decisions all game. And so not fussed which either way you go there, but the thinking is important, whether you believe he's taken the mark. And I guess it can be a little bit of game sense too. If there's a lot of heat in the game and you're needing to control a game and you want to send a message to players to go for the ball, which clearly the Port District player isn't doing in that scenario, then you might pay 25 just to help settle things down. But yeah, that was interesting. I reckon the next one's even more interesting. I'll be interested. Matt Harris always thinks he knows what a decision is. Matt, you can do the next one. I'll give you the hard one.
I'll try.
All right. Have you watched it yet?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Good luck with this one.
Looking for Zenny. Tap back by Kennett. Towards Jack Green, off the ground, inside 50. Mark Evans tries to pick it up. Good play there by the Hope Valley player in Machota. And he's going to get done for on the ball. He might have been a bit unlucky there. A little bit unlucky. You won't want to rip into the umpire, Adam. They'll pay you 25.
All right. What do you make of that?
So I don't think it's high.
Correct. I agree with you there, 100%.
Because he's seen it coming, gone down lower to try and draw the free.
Yep.
It's possibly in the back because he's landed on his back at the end of the tackle. I don't think it's holding all because it should have been in the back.
I reckon that's a fair summary. Again, 50-50 calls. You can argue that he's landed in his side and he hasn't landed on the back. But if you're gonna err on the side of the ball player, the right decision's in the back. But not every example is the same. So if you've got something very similar that happens on the weekend and you're 100% certain that he's landed on his side, not in his back, the fact that he has ducked and made no genuine attempt to dispose of the ball, holding the ball would be a good decision. But I think I'm with you. I think in the back would be a good one there. All right. Anyone else want to make any comments or questions on any of that? But yeah, some good examples of some 50-50 calls. All right, secure control. This is the area of the game that if we get right, we generally have a good day. This is your bread and butter part of umpiring. So focus on improving these skills, getting this right in the game. And it's the difference between having a good day and bad day in a lot of cases as an umpire. So some important messaging from this video. 90% vision on the player with the ball, 10% on the player on the mark. Obviously, therefore the player with the ball. If they play on, watch it. So Cameron Scott is out in the Sanford W at the moment. Very good umpire. Is 1 metre out, 1 metre back. His eyes the whole time here on the player with the ball. He's obviously giving instructions to players around the protection zone, but he's watching that player with the ball at all times. Must be on the move at all times, so make sure as the umpire number 2 here, see Mark, he's sprinting up to get into the take over the set kick. It's a trigger when you see the mark or free kick up the ground and you need to be at the set kick, you run as fast as you can to get up there. Be ready for that quick play on call so you're not unnecessarily penalising the player on the mark for going over. Watching that player with the ball. And being ready for that running off the mark. So quick play on call there. Very well done by Yuki. Take control, let them know what you want. Communication is a really important part of set kick control. So in this case here, there's a mark in the goal square. Telling the player to come back to the top of the goal square really quickly. Making sure they know exactly what you want. With a last possession or out of bounds in the full, need the player to go out of play to start with, and once they've done that, the moment that foot crosses the line, the play on call. So that's again watching the player with the ball will let you get that play on call right. And as Mark has done there, he's running to be 10 to 15 metres from the set kick, so he has that presence so he can see when the step comes across. So using the tactical switch, so in this case out the ball, you want to get over there to set the kick up, and tapping the other umpire through so they can take the play is the right thing for Joel to do. I think this was it's last possession, so again, running over to the set kick and tapping the other umpire through is what you need to do. Don't just signal the last person out of bounds and then let the other umpire come in. You need to get over there yourself. In this case here, the mark's taken just inside the 50. So as you paid the mark, you tap and then the other umpire goes down. And if there's a little bit of bigger, the players on the ground, you want to get over there and have a presence. So just take the other umpire down, as Cam has done there. You don't have to always do it around the ground, but if you feel like you need to, then it's well worth doing. Don't switch off, you never know what's going to happen. Take no shit if something does. So in this case here, free kick played. Bond's aware of what's going on. Not allowing the player to get the ball. Blame play. Here. Player just walks through with his hands in the air, makes no effort to get out of the protected zone. Mark does the right thing and penalise him. So having a presence and using a communication skill, really important part of set kick control. Carry on, getting in there and telling the players to call it. You being there, you communicating, being to the players. and therefore take it in and think they have to do something about it. You're there to control. In this case here, Matt, coming into the ball, he sees a couple of players pushing and shoving. Just a simple word to him, hand out, don't focus on the footy. Something small like that is really good control of the set kick. In the situation here, you want to sprint in. You can see a bit of stuff happening on the ground. And Mark is aware that there's a bit of bigger. You'll be yelling at him, getting the ball back, and then getting the game going. So by you having that presence, communicating, the players don't continue. Stay focused and be strong at set kicks for a good umpiring performance. That's the coaching video. Anything from that video that anyone wants to bring up? All right. Anything else before we wind up? Okay, just
Yeah, I do. No, sorry, yeah, you almost got me there.
Andre, you're back.
I am back from
can-
the jungles,
Yeah, mate.
the jungles of the Philippines.
We can see your chin, and that's it.
Yeah, because I'm in my car with the little ones, mate. Yeah, just a real quick one, and probably a refresher for myself and probably a lot of the guys there. That's on the Zoom. And got a situation about, I think it was just before halftime. One of the ladies for Pembroke did fall down in the centre square. Now, she was eminent that she broke a leg. It was snapped. There was a long delay, 10, 15 minutes at least. And both trainers said might have to ring up an ambulance, etc., etc. So it wasn't a neck injury. It wasn't a head injury. So I was about to phone up Pete Angel, actually. And I called off play. But as soon as I did that, they actually got her on the stretcher and got off. I just want a bit of a refresher. What is that situation when do we actually call off play or call the game?
So, Andre, first of all,
Yeah.
welcome back from your holiday.
Oh, that's all right, mate. That's all good.
Two,
Thanks,
I did see you joined the Zoom late, and if you joined on time, you would have heard us discuss it.
Oh, there you go. See it. There you go. Well,
So, mate, you can either watch the replay.
Murphy's Law.
I'm not going to go over
Yeah,
it.
I'll watch it. I'll watch the replay. Okay.
Watch the
cool.
replay or read the coaching notes. But,
Okay, will do. Sorry
yeah.
about that then.
All good, mate. Welcome back. All right.
Yeah, thank you. All right, cool.
So just again, Wednesday night we'll have the field and goal umpires come together to talk through that new instruction with the set kick, and we'll do that at the very start. And then for first and second year field umpires, we'll do some skill drills after that. All right. Be nicer weather this week too, at training and for games. So we'll catch you then.